Well, hello there, and welcome back to Freeform Disney. I'm Jeremy, and hey, it is time for, well, almost time for the second episode of Bad Batch. And wow, you have all been active over in the chat. I certainly am not caught up on everything that's been going on in there, but, well, first let me say some hellos. So, hello there, Evie. Hello there, Kevin. Hello there, Geek Girl. Hello there to Matthew Finn. Hello there. I think there's at least somebody else. Hello there to Darscal. I think I caught everybody. Wow. That is so cool that the chat's been that active in there. Wow. Oh, and hello there to Pharamond of Arimathea. Hello there, hello. You say, Darscal, you say, well, the Bad Batch might be in this one, but not sure, huh? Well, I haven't been looking at any other spoilers that might have come, if anything's been leaking on that one, so I don't know. But I'm assuming we're watching them and then we're heading on off to Salukamai, if I can pronounce it right. Had to run that one through my head a couple times to make sure I actually said it right. So... huh. Go over to the Clone Wars episode where it was said, and I just replayed that spot a couple times, and then just phonetically wrote it for my own sake when I did that script over on the Freeform Star Wars. 4:15 in the morning for you over there. Whew. Dang, that is late in the morning. Wow. Yeah. I said I can't imagine then doing the 7. Yeah, you just got to get up really early, I guess. If it's 4:15, that's too late to just stay up, and then you're up the entire night, right? Oh yes, Pharamond, I agree. Can't wait to go ahead and see Cut. Yeah, no, that seemed to be. I think everybody seemed to come to that agreement there, Geek Girl. I didn't see much any disagreement. Not that I looked deep anyway. It seemed to be the clear thing, and once we hit upon it, it made perfect sense. Because again, Cut Lawquane is a perfect spot to go to. You know, if you're looking for someone to lay low with. Again, my guess is we're talking Echo and Rex for how the heck the Bad Batch even knows about him, though. That one makes sense to me. Oh, good, you saw episode 1. That's good. Good. Let's see. We'll see how long it takes to come out. What do we all bet today? Think it's going to be another midnight day, or you think it's going to be earlier? What do you think? I mean, this time we do have Friday with its new episodes of this, that, and the other, so there is reason potentially for it to go ahead and come out at a different time. Because this time, I don't think they're really releasing anything super big. Well, I guess there's a few things that might attract other people. Looking at it, they are continuing their Big Shot show. The Mighty Ducks thing is continuing. They're starting season 2 of High School Musical, the series. That's a mouthful. And then they've just got a few other movies and shows it looks like they're tossing out onto the stream today. Wait, oh, no, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong day. That's next week. I guess their High School Musical, the musical thing is the next week. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't look like anything too big. So I doubt that's going to... It depends. I guess it depends on how big and how many people really tuned in for it. If they had enough, well, then maybe we'll go ahead and have a case where they'll toss it out a little early just to go ahead and keep the whole system happy. As I do think that's why they've been doing it for the other shows. 5 minutes early from Darscal. Geek Girl's guessing an early release. I'm going to go early too. I'm going to say early. Again, I think that's why we got WandaVision at the end releasing early, and why Falcon and the Winter Soldier has been releasing early, was to avoid some stress on the system. And if Bad Batch was big enough to go ahead and merit Marvel Wednesdays, which it seems like it was, then yeah, they might be worried about how much stress it'll put on. We can hope. A lot of Star Wars fans out there. Okay, let's see. 147 for you. Thursday night and Friday are a pretty good time. Tuesday's your worst day for watching live streams. Oof. Well, when it comes to the Marvel stuff, it will be that. But hey, Force is with Fridays. So we'll keep this day here. Let's see. Kevin, you said, did I see what Omega did with the blaster? Oh, without a doubt. The Force is with Omega. Maybe with Fridays, but certainly with Omega as well. Early because how good the first episode premiere was. Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, that first episode right there. Granted, it was also 70 minutes long, which helps too. It's not your typical just one episode trying to deal with it. But there's no comparison talking about the opener for Clone Wars or the opener for Rebels. It is so far above either of those for the quality of what we just started here. So, and when we're starting out the gate like that, oh, I'm excited. I am definitely excited. And also, one thing too, both Rebels and Clone Wars started at a much younger audience they were aimed for at the very beginning of the shows. And they, of course, aged up a bit as they went. Bad Batch does not start aimed nearly as low. I mean, heck, if you were, I don't think you go ahead and show Order 66 in your first episode and go kill off a Jedi Master. Just saying. So they made a clear decision on a bit when they made that move right there. And I was worried a little bit about Omega at first before we'd watch this as to whether that would be a way to lower the audience age a bit. And I still think that is the intent. It's just not the significant concern I had when we didn't know much of anything about her in the trailer. So so far I'm pleased. Let's see. What else you got in here? Apparently the voice actor who voices Ahsoka is in the show, so cross the fingers. Well, it is Dave Filoni. I'm just saying here. If we didn't find a way to shove Ahsoka in somewhere in here, I mean, he'd have to go ahead and just hang up his hat. He can't wear his hat anymore. Yeah. Or something. Let's see. Plan for Loki is just setting the alarm for 1:40 and after the stream going to sleep. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. The fun trick is that's pretty much what you're going to do for the rest of the year at that point, too, with all those Marvel shows coming up. So, whoa. Oh, yeah. Disney Plus did crash back then. Oh, I see. I missed the earlier piece. Kevin, you were asking about WandaVision. So, Disney Plus is super lagged or even in one case completely crashed during the midnight releases. So the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2 caused a good big lag. It was over 10 minutes before I think everybody that we were on the stream with was really in. Or what? Was that the No, I didn't stream it, but it took us, I think, 10 minutes to get in. Point being. And then WandaVision went ahead and actually jammed up a few times on us, 2 or 3 times, I think. And 2 of them were just normal jams, whereas somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes to get in. And that third one, though, everyone was kicked completely out. So that was big. And we've never run into a lag since that point in time. So, of course, they also started the whole releasing it somewhere 7-8 minutes early, and I'm sure they made some other changes on the back end. Loki's premiere date is now June 9th. It was June 11th, so now it's Wednesday, June 9th. And then Luca will be coming out the Friday after. So again, I made a comment on this on that other video, but super happy that Luca, Bad Batch, and Loki are not all coming out on the same dang day. Has Disney Plus gone past Netflix in users yet? Not the last time I saw it. Netflix is huge in terms of user count, so it's going to take a little bit to get there still. Of course, with the kind of programming they're doing this year here, we've got Star Wars rolling, Marvel's rolling through the year, and then especially once you get into next year with Star Wars, or really the end of the year, because we'll have Book of Boba Fett, we're going to have Season 3 of Mandalorian, Cassian Andor comes out next year. I imagine Ahsoka and Rangers are probably coming out next year. Visions, I think I've heard is this year, if my memory serves, etc., etc. Point being is there's going to be so many Star Wars shows coming out as well when it comes to next year that you want to talk about Disney Plus and viewership. I mean, one thing they have, and Bob Iger certainly did for Disney, was went ahead and got those big IP. Netflix has to create original things generally to really have it, whereas the things Disney owns, they've already got it. I mean, we're talking huge fan bases in terms of Marvel and Star Wars. In fairness, Marvel built up a fair bit of that just over the last decade-ish. I mean, there was obviously a lot of Marvel before, but not as much for film media. X-Men did well, the Spider-Man movies did well, and then not as well, and yeah. And then the X-Men movies waffled in and out, so tricky thing that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yep, let's see. Very excited for Hawkeye. Yep. Star Wars versus Marvel. Well, at least it'll be on different days. Oh, I'm happy about that. You're saying also some people on sub due to drama. Yeah, I'm not sure what real impact that had. So, I mean, Disney doesn't release their numbers on a general note anyway, and no one has it other than trying to go ahead and do other surveys to get an idea. So how much of an impact that really had, hard to say. Hard to say. It's an interesting time for subscribers in that sense anyway, because as far as Star Wars, we were in a lull in Star Wars at that moment as far as Disney Plus is concerned. Mandalorian Season 2 was over. Bad Batch wouldn't start for a while, and I don't know how many Mandalorian viewers move over to Bad Batch either, for that matter. So unless they were Marvel viewers, then they might have already been largely gone off of Disney Plus at that time anyway. So it's an interesting question, to which I don't know the answer. And we'll probably never have a good idea of it, since Disney won't give us those kind of numbers. But it is interesting. Let's see. Looking like we were wrong on early release today. It looks like it's going to be on the hour, and that's about where we're going today, it looks like. I'm going to go and grab my headphones here, get ready for this, because clearly we're getting ready here. Okay, hey, let me go ahead and give the usual spiel in case there's anybody new in the house today. So, you're going to go ahead and pull up your Bad Batch over on your Disney Plus, or if you've got some other way of pulling it up, go ahead and do that. And then I'll count us on in. You'll pull up yours, and I'll also have a timer up over my head, and that will go ahead and allow you to sync up in case it gets missynced or something else happens that way. Okay. So we will be coming up soon, because it's 59 now, so it should be popping any time now. Looks like it, yeah, looks like it'll be on the hour. There was a chance of it not being on the hour, but... And Evie will be back as usual afterwards, yep. Okay, we got a half minute to go. 20 seconds. Let's see, big predictions for today. So, do you think Cut LaQuaine makes it out of Bad Batch alive? That's a question I have that I'm curious about. I don't know. I mean, he's going to get involved with him, and I think that is dangerous, to say the least. course, he's got a family, too. And hey, right on the hour. Look at that. There it is. I said, I think Cut survives. I agree, Pheromone. That's my personal thought. Whether he gets to stay over on Saleucami is a different question. I just don't know. I mean, we've set this up as Crosshair chasing him down. So everybody, go ahead and pull up your thing so we can get started. Give you just a little bit here. If anyone's having any trouble, post it in the chat right now. And we will get ready to go ahead and start this right on up. Pheromone, you note that he was mentioned in the novel Aftermath, huh? It's a good potential piece of evidence. Assuming we don't go retcon that. This is Star Wars, after all. Heck, the very first episode of Bad Batch went ahead and retconned a little bit, so you never know. As much as you might think that should work that way. Okay. So I'm not seeing... Oh, hello there, Nerd Boy Carter. I'm not seeing anybody saying they haven't pulled it up, so I'm going to assume you've all got it up and ready. See you after it's over, Starscal. See you the after discussion. Okay. So, with that all said, everybody, I'm going to count you on in. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Timer's going to be a little slow and behind. I'll get that timer fixed here in a second. There. Timer's fixed. A little off. It's correct on the time now, the 22 seconds. So from when I said go. Nah, that's how we do it now. Cut and run. Yeah, it looks like the opening narration was just for the Clone Wars connection for the first one. I'm still amused Filoni chose to say it that way of J19 rather than just saying Saleucami last time around. That's cool. I didn't know this. Interesting. Saleucami, huh? On those creatures. Yes, Nexu. My favorite of the three. When all you've ever known is being stuck over there, mainly indoors, but sometimes out, and no solid ground because you're just like on a station in the middle of the ocean. I love the attention to detail with the animation, adding these little creatures in here and whatnot. We've got little bugs flitting around. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. It's Tech who actually knows about cut, huh? Echo doesn't know about cut at all. Interesting. There they are. Oh, look at the house now. Yeah, Geek Girl Hunter does give off proud dad vibes there. They're going to get attached to her there. That's for sure. Silver strand in the hair. Oh, we just missed Rex? I love that. Oh, like, yeah, I know this. Okay, so Tech and Wrecker know them. Speaking of the father vibes right there. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, that's right about them not being able to stay on Seleucami. Gotta go hide somewhere further out in the Outer Rim, more desolate. Who knows, maybe go into hut space or something like that. Oh, I love it working the politics in here this way. Invalidate everyone's money, but make it so it becomes valid again if you register with them. Oh, that's clever. That's definitely clever. Ah, Fairmont hoping we see Commander Neo in the 91st. Yes. Oh, I mean, there's so many people I hope to see again in here. We. I wonder what kind of black market we've got here on Seleucami. See how those force intuitions do for her here. This little one is not worth it. The writing here is nice. The subtlety, the characterization. Oh. Whoa. Quite different with the hair down. Set up the rest of the clear character arc to run here for this episode or two. Of all the things not to check for, I mean, dang. Speaking about their teamwork issues they have sometimes and being so individualistic, it's like, there's one. I love the little dig at the ship, by the way. Just now that we're past it a little. Interesting how she's keeping her hair down right now and not putting the medallion back up. It is going to be interesting over the show to watch the clones slowly start to be phased out and replaced. Speaking of things. That is convenient. Love it. Man, you have this many clones lying about just to go ahead and do security on Seleucami of all places. While we're being individualistic. I mean, we clearly know where this is going. Well, you know what they say. Omega is one with the Force, and the Force is with Omega. Yeah, I like that Omega's actually been made legitimately useful in here. Oh, this fight over in the background, juxtaposing these two is nice touch. He sounded almost disappointed about that. Yeah. Didn't think we were really getting rid of Omega that fast. A little too close for comfort right there. You know, this whole visit to Seleucami to lay low, it didn't work too well. It's a reference back to the Bad Shark right there where he was doing that too. It was good. Welcome back, Evie. We can all commiserate about the poor gonk that Rucker likes to go ahead and do curls with. Nice. Six out of 10 from Matthew Finn. Okay, kill the timer. Don't need that up anymore. Omega versus Ahsoka in a fight. Not sure what the point of that would be. Well, anyway. Now that... Again, impressed off the bat from the quality of the writing on Bad Batch. Definitely. Again, the characters and how they're written, their interactions off the bat... Even how we went ahead and did this. This is, you know, it's not what I'm used to generally out of the different animated shows. So I'm quite pleased with what I'm seeing so far. Likewise, Giger. I'll have to think about it a little more before scoring it. But yeah, again, I'm only too pleased. If this is where we're going, nice. And on an episode that... I mean, you can't call this filler because there's clearly character arc, even if the overall plot of going to Seleucami doesn't feel like it's going to directly tie into anything else. The character arc pieces with Hunter and Omega were your big pieces here that tie into the larger scheme of things. Hunter and Omega remind you a bit of Din and Grogu, father-son relationship, father-daughter in this case, yeah. That's interesting in this case, too, yeah. I mean, it's very much a father-daughter relationship started more by Omega in this case. What's interesting also, at the end of the last one, we got a tease for where we were going next with a little J19 thing. We got no tease this time, unless I'm completely missed something somewhere. So I have no idea where we're going next. The galaxy is wide open. And, yeah, I don't know that we'll see Cut again. I don't think we need to at this point. And we kind of checked up on them. Said, hey, look, they're heading off to somewhere further out in the Outer Rim or Hut Space or who knows, somewhere further from the Empire's reach. So what do you all think? Where are we going next? We caught a nice little reference that Rex had been there a mere day earlier. So they're not too far off of where Rex is. Rex is in the relatively nearby vicinity in the galaxy. Yeah. I think Evie, it's a definite possibility they meet Rex next. It's also a possibility we'll keep dropping breadcrumbs on Rex until we run into him, just as a way of continuing to tease it. Hey, Rex is coming. Rex is coming. Rex is coming. And I'm not sure which of the two is more likely right now. Geeker, you're saying, thought going into the show would be more of like an A-team with them turning into mercenaries. Well, I remember they said it was going to be after they go ahead and go that they would become mercenaries and whatnot, which still makes sense eventually for how the heck they make a living. But I remember the original description also said stuff like learning how to go ahead and survive in the post-Empire, and I think it'll take a bit of time before they really get to that point of being mercenaries. And even if so, it feels a long-run issue, because right now they're still very directly on the run, so they're not in a spot where they can try to settle into a routine. We've got to deal with our crosshair issue and whatnot first. And speaking about the whole crosshair issue, bringing up the chips again here within this episode, clearly, continuing to lay the groundwork, especially for people who don't know about the chips. Maybe Bad Batches are intro. So we had to go ahead and put it in here to make sure it's clear, and make sure that it's clear that our Clone Force 99 actually know about it. And Jabba the Hutt kills the Bad Batch. Nah. If we're going to have the Bad Batch die, it's going to be more epic than that. And I still think we're going multiple seasons. I hope we don't just go one. I hope we go for a few seasons on this. Oof. That actually is it. That one's interesting, Kevin. If the Bad Batch tried to kill the Emperor, we can make this like one of those Project Valkyrie, Operation Valkyrie type things, or Black Orchestra, or those kind of different things. That's interesting. That would be an epic way for them to die at the end of the show. I kind of like it, actually. It's like the more I think about it, the more I like that as a way to go ahead and... They go to mercenaries for a while, just make their living. Eventually, they pass being just mercenaries and decide that they're not okay with the way the whole galaxy is, and not okay with the Empire and what the Emperor has done to all of them, and shift off to that. That could be a really great long-running arc. Yeah, I don't think they'd kick the Emperor in the nuts. It'd be a good way for them to die, though. Let's see. Meeting up with Rex will result in Crosshair. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they clearly seem to know about the chips already, but again, they still need to meet Rex to go ahead and get the rest of the information about it. Let's see. Caleb Doom won't show up again because he would have trusted Rex if that were the case. I wouldn't expect Caleb Doom to pop up, but we could always put him up in the background somewhere. So we just see him. Oh, look, there's Caleb Doom, and we could just do something funky like that. And I think there's a way to do it. But it would just be like a background cameo kind of thing. Yeah, so I think there's some fun ways that we could run that if we wanted to. But I agree with you entirely that it won't be in any major way of interacting with the clones, because that would be problematic. Let's see. So it's interesting that we went so much for the family dynamic in here, too, off the bat. I didn't expect us to go down that road so quick. And we really did. And it's really back to one of the things I commented before the whole show started is that we had the big archetypes on each of the characters, but we really needed to start rounding them out. And we're already starting to do that. I mean, certainly this is starting to round out Hunter as a character right off the bat. And considering he's the leader of the team, clearly the person who's going to be rounded out first makes sense to be Hunter. So then we're going to have to start rounding out some of the other characters in there too, and starting to know more about them and their other little quirks and how they get along with each other, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that we'll go that way at this point. Good night, Geek Girl. I said, catch you Sunday, I'm sure. I said, catch a bunch of you Sunday when I go ahead and live stream the opening of Season 4 of Rebels. So that's coming up pretty soon. Let's see. Kevin, do I think the Star Wars Rebels cast might join up in Bad Batch later on? Well, not in any real way. I'm hardly going to be surprised if we run across someone here or there. Like running across Hera and her father over on Ryloth. That one I think is a decent possibility. To go ahead and see Cham and Syndulla going ahead and running his rebellion over there on that planet. I think that's definitely something we might see in the course of Bad Batch. But bear in mind how much younger all of them are at this point in time. Like, we're not going to see Ezra, for instance. He's just too young. We could see Ezra's parents, though. That's a possibility. So there's a number of those kind of things. And running into those, I mean, they're just great little Easter eggs and a way of connecting the universe. And, I mean, we clearly know the show already likes doing it. So it wouldn't be surprising to see more of that. But right now I'd be looking at more of the Clone Wars connections than I would the Rebels connections. Just being that Bad Batch is a direct successor and is, well, far closer in time to Clone Wars than Bad Batch. I don't think Bad Batch will join the Rebel Alliance, not in any secure way. And also, I don't think the show will go nearly long enough to ever see that happen, as that would take way too long, assuming you only go 1 year per season in real time within the Star Wars galaxy. So we'll never go that far forward. That would be my guess there. Let's see. I mean, heck, speaking of people we've dropped already, we've seen Saw, we've seen Cut now, we've brought Tarkin in for a moment, obviously some other Kaminoans as well. And then, hey, we're going to see Rex in a bit, we know that. But yeah. And Evie, you're saying reminds you of episode 4 of season 1 of Mando. That must be that episode. I mean, in some ways I agree with you. Except that one felt far more... It's not that the episode 4 of Mando was filler, but it had the feel of being a bottle episode type of filler. It just felt that way. And this one didn't do that to me. It very much felt like we were moving through. The pacing was good. We kept... Yeah, it feels like this show has it together more right off the bat. Whereas Mando was still finding its footing in episode 4. Don't get me wrong, Bad Batch is obviously still finding its footing, but it seems to be much more steady on its footing off the bat than Mando was. I think that's it. Yeah, Evie could be a massive time skip for later seasons. They certainly could do that. Definitely, if that's the story they want to tell. Yeah. I mean, that's the real question, is what story do they want to tell? And I don't know the answer for sure on that yet. We haven't really seen. We know we've got this larger arc with saving Crosshair / getting hunted down by Crosshair. But beyond that, I don't think it's at all clear where the larger arc of Bad Batch goes. And that's going to answer a lot of that right there. Well, hello there, Profsta. You said you've really fallen in love with the characters, especially Hunter. Oh, yeah. I mean, and today's episode helps you fall in love with Hunter a lot more. And they really rounded out Cut a little bit, too. It was nice to see him really, engaging with Hunter as far as parenting and realizing that connection off the bat. And we played some of that nicely just in reactions without having to... something Rebels and Clone Wars both could be bad about sometimes was exposition. But they did a number of things in the course of this that didn't require a bunch of exposition. They trusted the audience to catch the things, or the looks here, or the interactions. And that was nice. That was very nice. It's a quality of good writing and good storytelling there. Kevin, you say, do I think Darth Vader will show up in Bad Batch? It's possible. I think it's definitely possible. It would be a very background thing if he does. Obviously, he couldn't engage our characters because that's way too big of a power difference. But it is possible he could pop in the background. No, hello there, Jedi Princess. You're pretty sure Bad Batch is going to be like Clone Wars and have some filler episodes before something big usually happens. I'd be surprised if it didn't. I mean, it's what I'm used to out of both Clone Wars, and heck, Rebels would have their filler episodes too. I mean, Filoni's been around that block a few times. So it's going to be surprising if it doesn't. But that said, how fillery the filler is its own question. Like, even this, you could say plot-wise, this might not add much to the overall arc. But character-wise, it did. And so we might do something like that, where we're still at least have some important character development during episodes that might otherwise have been considered filler. Kevin, you bet the Emperor will show up again. I'm sure he'll show up in the background, holonet type of stuff or that kind of thing. I'd be surprised if we never hear the Emperor giving another speech on holonet. Prost, Bad Batch is showing how much Dave Filoni has grown. That is for sure. I mean, he's gone all the way through Clone Wars to Rebels, back to Clone Wars, working Mandalorian. He spent a lot of time here. And, yeah, now coming back this way as well. And starting a show that is meant to be a little more mature, too. Also, the writers we have on Bad Batch, kudos that direction, too, right there. Huge kudos to the writers. Let's see, I don't even remember who the writers are. I think I looked at it at one point. Oh, yeah, and Jennifer Corbett is the other executive producer we have here, and Brett Rao. So, I mean, we've got a few people who... Jennifer Corbett is our other big person in terms of what's going on here. Remind me what else she did, because I know she's done some other stuff as well. She was a recurring screenwriter on Resistance. I haven't watched Resistance at all, so that doesn't say much of anything for me. And then she's worked as a producer on NCIS. I mean, that seems to be the other big thing she did. Was she was co-executive producer for NCIS for a good few years, it looks like, for 2013 to 2019. So a lot of NCIS right there. Man, that show's run a long time. Since 2003. Dang. I've not watched anywhere near that much of NCIS, that's for sure. But yeah. Looks like she runs more of that production side, also some writing in NCIS, as well as some other stuff before. She does have 3 writing credits in Star Wars before, which was that she wrote Rendezvous Point, New World, and Rebuilding the Resistance as far as Star Wars Resistance is concerned. Can't say anything about that as I haven't seen them, so I don't know. Maybe those were 3 really good ones. I know people have generally not been as big on how it was for what people thought. But as far as this show is concerned, she wrote the first episode. Aftermath is one that she has the writing credit on right there, as well as being co-creator here for all of this. Yeah. Whereas she did not write the second episode, it looks like. But yeah, it looks like Dave Filoni and Jennifer Corbett both got the writing credit on the first episode. So the co-creators co-wrote the first episode. And here on Cut and Run, we had Gursimran Sandhu who wrote it. Take it for what it's worth. I don't recognize him by name. So yeah, interesting random little notes right there, in case that means anything for anyone as far as these different episodes and what we should have to expect. But again, yeah, both Filoni, obviously Jennifer Corbett's huge in all of this. My bad. I said he on Gursimran Sandhu. I meant to say she, apparently. Did not catch from the name which way to go on that. Did not catch at all which way to go on that. Which is interesting, actually. Apparently she was a staff writer on Game of Thrones and worked a bunch of Game of Thrones stuff. But no Star Wars stuff before. That's interesting. Anyway, what else do we got over here? Let's see, Evie, based off of these 2 episodes, your ranking for the Bad Batch members are Hunter for number 1, which is probably not a surprise. I mean, again, leader of the group, he should get a lot of that focus right there for the show. So Hunter for number 1 right there, and you're going to go ahead and say 2 for Wrecker, 3 for Omega, 4 for Tech, and surprisingly 5 for Echo. Yeah, if I was having to just base it off of these 2 episodes, I would agree with Echo being 5. Just, he hasn't been as... it makes sense. He is the outsider to the group. Although I guess Omega's even more of an outsider, but there's a bit of a difference there. But yeah, you're right, let's see. I thought I heard that Dave did not run Resistance, if my memory serves correctly, though. You're saying that he... Or do you mean that he directed episodes and not actually ran it? Because I thought I remembered that Dave Filoni didn't actually showrun that one. That's the only one of the big ones that he hasn't done it as showrunner. I could be wrong. Because, again, I haven't seen it, so I haven't dug deeply into it or anything. Just purely going off of what I thought I heard people say. So yeah, so he's executive producer. Okay, cool. I don't know why I heard that. Creator of Resistance. Okay, it's in there. I don't know. No, it says he is creator of Resistance as well. I don't know why I heard that he wasn't. Go figure. It's like, yeah, no, created by, developed by... Who knows? Anyway. Again, I'll watch it at some point. Eventually, I'll get back over there and keep moving on. Rebels Season 4 first, at the very least, though. Have I played Jedi Fallen Order yet? No, I have not. I will at some point. I do have it, currently. But I haven't played it yet. Wish there were 2 episodes a week. Like this week, right? I mean, if we could get a 70-minute and a half-hour episode every week, woo! Oh, I agree with you, though. Oh, it's gonna feel so slow now in this sense, as we've got to wait a whole week just for one more short episode, and then another week, and oh, yeah. You're right, Evie. Coming from Airbender over to this, and yeah, and what he's done in Star Wars so far, and what he's continuing to do with the Star Wars, being more involved in the live action. I'm curious exactly how the breakdown will work in terms of the Mando spin-off shows. I'm sure, because I know he and Favreau are both kind of co-running the different ones to a degree. I assume Ahsoka is going to be much more him taking the lead on that. But in terms of Rangers, maybe it's a more split thing. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Profit. Yep, like this week. It would be nice. Okay. So yeah. it is going to be time to go ahead and take on off. Hey, if you're not if you haven't checked out Freeform Star Wars, I would recommend going ahead and checking that out. I put a video up just before this one over here on Freeform Star Wars, so you can check that out. I'll probably put some stuff up here regarding this episode as well. Some more talk about lore as a whole, of course, just on Star Wars. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Ahsoka getting her own series will be great. Yeah, well, I will play Jedi Fallen Order eventually. I will. It's sitting there waiting to be played eventually. And when I do, I'm sure I'll live stream it out and everyone can go and watch me play or fail or however the heck I do. I get some lore as we go through. I don't know when that'll be, though, so don't get your hopes up for that to be soon. It'll be eventually. And, man, there's been some good news on some of the other Star Wars video games, and that we'll get more. Looking forward to some of that. Well, anyway, with all of that said, it's probably that time again, folks. So I will see probably a lot of you on Sunday at noon Pacific time to go watch Season 4 of Rebels as I start into that. I'm sure I'll see a bunch of you here in not too long. And for everybody else, I'll see you around on Freeform Star Wars, Freeform Disney, or somewhere else altogether. So, oh, well, thanks, Profta. Definitely, as I said, I love building up Freeform Star Wars, so thanks for going ahead and subscribing over there. One hoot to everyone. Let me go ahead and say, have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.